Ride the signal through the unknown. This is the Cryptic Current.
The man who drove into Finch's Hollow found the road ahead simply ended, not a barricade, not a dead end. The pavement just ceased, as if the town had retracted its invitation. When he stepped out, the air didn't just feel cold. It felt thick, like wading through chilled syrup, carrying the scent of wet earth and something faintly metallic. Then he heard it. Not a sound, but an absence. The complete void of crickets, whined through leaves, any nighttime murmur. His breath hitched. This wasn't just quiet. It was a vacuum, as if the woods themselves were holding theirs. That's when a single, guttural whisper seemed to emanate not from the trees, but from the ground beneath his feet. It didn't speak a word. It simply beckoned, and the map on his phone, which had shown the town just minutes before, now displayed only an empty, gray grid where Finch's Hollow should have been. Population: 0, or so they say, but the evidence suggests otherwise. The air here carries the metallic scent of old rain on rust, and beneath it, something faintly sweet, like decay. Every story has a beginning, and every ghost town has its last day. The GPS screen showed only a void of green where the town should have been. In 1987, over 300 people vanished overnight, but the true horror isn't their disappearance. It's what awaits anyone who dares to look for them. Mike and his team were young, ambitious documentary filmmakers from Austin, specializing in forgotten history. While researching a piece on abandoned Route 77, Mike uncovered a chilling discrepancy. The official record showed a different route than the decaying asphalt he'd walked. A metallic scent hung in the air as his fingers brushed the cold, damp paper, and a distant scratching sound began. On the faded paper map, a single dot is clearly marked: Finch's Hollow. Yet on every modern screen, their GPS, digital topo maps, even the state's official archives, there is only undisturbed woodland. The air itself seems to thicken with the scent of damp earth and something faintly metallic, like cold iron. Not a glitch, but an absence. A hollow carved from reality itself. But Sarah discovered a forum, a ghost town enthusiast site. One user, Traveler77, had posted a single, chilling sentence: Finch's Hollow isn't abandoned, it's hiding. That was all she needed. John, Sarah's brother, and their sound tech loaded the van that bright October morning. Their plan was straightforward: follow the old map's coordinates, capture B-roll of crumbling foundations and rusted vehicles, and craft a short film about a cartographic error. The last photo on Sarah's phone shows the three of them at a roadside diner, laughing over coffee and pancakes. They drove off into the crisp autumn air, unaware of what the fading ink on that map truly marked. John makes bunny ears behind Mike's head, their grins captured in a final flash before the photo dissolves into darkness. The footage shifts, grainy and unsteady, the color grading now washed in cold blues and sickly greens. The road vanished beneath the forest's grasp 2 hours in, swallowed by ancient pines and thickening undergrowth. GPS died first, the cheerful voice dissolving into a hiss of static, leaving only the heavy silence of the woods. Then their phones died, not from dead batteries, but from a complete absence of signal. According to the odometer, they should have been in the middle of town. There was nothing. The air grew heavy, carrying a faint metallic scent like ozone after a storm. From recovered audio, Mike's voice, slightly nervous, cut through the quiet, "Okay, navigator's dilemma." The map insisted we were here, but the world itself seemed to reject the notion. Sarah's voice crackled through the static. "Stop the van!" The vehicle lurched to a halt, gravel crunching sharply beneath the tires. A heavy, pine-scented wind moaned through the towering trees, and that's when Sarah saw it. It wasn't a town, just a single mailbox, listing at the forest's edge, its door agape. No nameplate marked its purpose, just a blank, rusted panel that held nothing. A faint, metallic scent of old rain and rot drifted from its dark interior. It stood as a silent question, a forgotten thing that waited. No road led to it, just a solitary mailbox standing alone in the wilderness. John's voice crackled over the recording, trying to lighten the moment. Postmen must hate this route. The camera closed in on the mailbox's dark interior, revealing nothing but damp, decaying leaves. And nestled among them, a single pristine white envelope, completely untouched and unposted. They pushed forward, each step heavy with a growing, suffocating dread. John, monitoring the audio feed, froze. A faint, ghostly ripple of children's laughter cut through the static, then vanished. His whispered question, "You guys hear that?" quote, hung in the damp, metallic-tasting air. Ahead, the forgotten main road awaited, a fractured ribbon of asphalt being slowly reclaimed by the grasping earth. The "Welcome to Finch's Hollow" sign stood ahead, its surface cratered with what appeared to be decades-old bullet holes. Beyond it, the town proper came into view, a sight so jarring and surreal, it felt like a waking nightmare. A faint, metallic scent of old rust and damp earth hung in the air, thick and unsettling. Every instinct screamed to turn back, but the hollow's silence was a vacuum, pulling us forward into the unknown. The Victorian houses stood intact, but their paint was bone white, windows like empty sockets. A 1950s Chevy rested on rotten flats, yet its chrome gleamed with unnatural polish. No doors stood open, no curtains stirred in the dead air. The only scent was dry rot and the metallic tang of stillness. The only sound was the groan of their van's door as they stepped out. Sarah's voice trembled with a mix of awe and dread. "It's not ruined, it's preserved." They began to film. A general store displayed mannequins in sun-bleached fashions. A diner held plates still on the counter, dust-covered. It was a museum frozen on a single day in 1987. The air itself felt wrong, unnaturally still and heavy. An absolute silence pressed in, broken only by the faint, rhythmic drip of moisture from unseen branches. A deep, penetrating cold seeped through his jacket, carrying the faint, metallic scent of ozone. Every instinct screamed that this quiet was not peace, but a predator's patience. The October forest held a cold that defied reason, a deep, penetrating chill that seeped through layers. Suddenly, the footage jolts violently, the frame blurring as if struck. Mike's voice cuts through, sharp with alarm. "Did you see that?" Upstairs window, the White House. The camera zooms in shakily, focusing on a second-floor window of a distant, pale house, the image blurry and indistinct. For a single frame, a pale face stared down from the darkness, then vanished. Through his parabolic mic, John began capturing distinct voices, not echoes, but crisp, overlapping conversations. The air carried the metallic scent of ozone, and his skin prickled with cold dampness. Amid the whispers, a fragment of a baseball score cut through the static, clear and utterly out of place. From the empty street below, a woman's mid-century voice called out for dinner, echoing unnaturally off the wet asphalt. John's voice, raw with terror, crackled over the recording. "They're not ghosts on a tape. Sarah, Mike, they're broadcasting." A sudden, acrid scent of ozone filled the room, metallic and sharp, as the footage dissolved into chaos. The only sounds were the ragged, panicked gasps of the person holding the camera, a primal dread taking hold as the world on the tape fell apart. The light began to sputter and fade, plunging the surroundings into deepening gloom. A raw, instinctual panic seized them, propelling them toward the van in a blind rush. The engine coughed a single, weak protest before falling silent. In the sudden, absolute quiet, a sharp scent of ozone and damp earth filled the air. As the last light of day seeped into the asphalt, the neighborhood awoke. Not one home remained dark. A uniform, amber glow spilled from every porch and kitchen. The warmth of the light felt staged, a perfect, synchronized performance for the empty street. The town was powering up for an evening 40 years past. A camera, left running on a tripod, captured it all. Figures moved inside the illuminated houses, their silhouettes sharp against the glowing panes. The air carried the faint scent of ozone and aged wood. Shadows moved across the curtains, silent as ghosts, while John's equipment continued broadcasting the recorded transmissions. Sarah's desperate sobs crackled through the speaker. Quote, "We have to leave. We have to walk." They snatched their essential gear and fled toward the tree line, following the faint indentations of their own tire tracks. But the forest had changed. The familiar path now twisted into something alien and watchful. The forest had closed in around them. The trail they'd followed now vanished without trace. A cold that wasn't natural settled deep into their marrow, a bitter chill that seemed to leach the warmth from their very bones. Then, cutting through the oppressive stillness, a new sound emerged. Not wind through branches, not animal movement. Something else entirely. Something that made the air feel thick with dread. Not broadcasts, but whispers. Dozens of them, layered and overlapping, male and female, old and young, all hissing the same three words. A chorus of chilling, breathy voices repeats, "Stay for supper, stay for supper, stay for supper." Mike's trembling hand swings the camera behind them, catching a glimpse down the hill. In the now fully lit town, every single front door stands open, dark portals, framed by a sickly, artificial glow. And standing in each doorway, completely motionless, were silhouettes. Mike's voice crackled through the recorder. A raw, broken scream. Run! The footage dissolved into a chaotic blur of branches clawing at the lens and consuming darkness. Heavy, ragged breathing filled the audio. Then a sickening crash, and the screen went black. The audio continues for a moment. Rustling leaves, a low whimper, then absolute stillness. The screen remains black for a tense beat before text appears. Typed letter by agonizing letter. On screen, the words form. The van was found 3 days later, 20 miles from the nearest road, its tank empty. No bodies, no equipment, just the lingering scent of ozone and damp earth. The official report declared them missing, presumed dead. The case was closed. But a year later, this tattered photograph arrived at the Lawson home, bearing no return address. The air in the room grew thick, carrying the faint scent of old paper and dust. Who sent this final, silent message from the vanished? The same family stands on the porch, but in the blackened upper window behind them, 3 new faces press against the glass. Sarah, Mike, and John stare out with wide, petrified eyes, their breath fogging the cold pain. A damp, earthy scent of rot seeps from the house as a low, guttural whisper scratches at the silence. Finch's Hollow doesn't vanish. It collects, it absorbs, it needs new voices for its endless broadcast. So tonight, check your maps. Listen for the static between the lines. The old ones. Seek out the anomalous dot where no town should exist. And if an unnatural chill seizes you, if you catch a whisper on an empty road. Final shot. A modern digital map zooms in on a dense patch of forest in upstate New York. The image glitches for a fraction of a second. In that glitch, the faint outline of streets appears. Maybe it's just the wind, or maybe the air grows thick with a metallic scent, a cold, damp pressure pushing down from the empty sky. Maybe you're already on its map,